Zombies started attacking people inside the train. And within minutes, the quiet corridors turned into blood-soaked tunnels of terror. Car by car the infection spread like wildfire. Flesh was torn. Screams echoed. And those left alive had one chance: fight, or become the next to turn. This was no longer a ride to Busan. It was a one-way trip into hell. Let's dive into Train to Busan, a non-stop, high-speed nightmare where survival rides on split-second choices and the dead don't stay dead for long. On a quiet highway outside of Seoul, a truck speeds toward a checkpoint. The driver argues about livestock restrictions, distracted as he runs over something in the road. Then a deer, broken and bloodied, twitches on the road and suddenly jerks to its feet. Its eyes glow with the unnatural shimmer of death. In the city, Suk-woo is buried in paperwork. He's a wealthy fund manager, a man used to moving numbers, not people. His office is sleek, his suit sharp, but his life is a hollow routine. At home, his daughter Suin quietly stares at her birthday gift, a new Wii console. It's the same gift he already bought her last year. She says nothing, just thanks him softly. She wants one thing for her birthday: to see her mother in Busan. Suk-woo, reluctant, eventually agrees. They'll take the KTX high-speed train in the morning. At the train station the air feels different. People are rushing, but there's an edge to the crowd. Onlookers glance at their phones. News broadcasts flicker with reports of riots and unexplained violence in several districts. Suk-woo escorts Suin onto the train, oblivious to the chaos unfolding just miles away. As the train pulls out of the station, a woman stumbles onto the last car at the final second. She's limping, panicked, and unseen by the conductor. Blood trickles down her leg. She collapses in a dark corner, her body twitching violently. In one of the cabins, a high school baseball team jokes around. Among them is Yeon, whose crushed Jin-hee teases him from across the aisle. Nearby, an elderly pair of sisters sit together, gossiping softly. Toward the front of the train, a powerful man in a business suit reclines. Yeon, an executive with an arrogant air. He sneers at the commoners, eyes filled with disdain. In the back, the injured woman jerks upright. Her spine cracks. Her eyes are glazed over. Without warning, she lunges at a nearby attendant. Blood sprays across the cabin. Screams erupt. Passengers flee down the aisle as the infected attendant rises, her body shaking, her face monstrous. In seconds the infection spreads car by car. The conductor is unaware. The passengers in the front cars remain calm. Suk-woo tries to make a call, but coverage is unstable. Suin looks out the window, sensing something's wrong. The tension grows thick as the train races forward, but behind them the end has already begun. The chaos finally spills into Suk-woo's car. The infected storm in. Screams echo through the metal halls. Suin cries out. A stranger pushes past them, a muscular man named Sang-hwa, protecting his pregnant wife Song-kyung. Suk-woo tries to shut the door behind them, hesitating for a split second. Sang-hwa glares at him. You should help people, he growls. The infected slam against the glass, their twisted faces smeared with blood. The train lurches forward, never stopping, never slowing, and death races inside. The survivors huddle in one of the safe cars. Phones buzz with news. Cities are falling. Emergency broadcasts issue frantic orders. Suk-woo tries to call his assistant, demanding information. He wants to get off the train to save himself and Suin. But where can they go? Every city they pass is overrun. Fire spreads across skylines. Helicopters spin through smoke. The world is collapsing, fast. At Taejeon Station the conductor stops the train. Suk-woo, having made contact with his company's military connections, decides to exit through a separate platform. The others follow the station's main exit, unaware that it's already lost. Suk-woo grabs Suin and rushes toward a secret military route. His assistant warned him not to trust the public evacuation. But Suin pulls back. You only care about yourself, she says, hurt. That's why mom left. He freezes. That truth pierces deeper than any claw. In the main terminal the others realize too late. The soldiers are infected. A wave of undead descends the escalators. Screams fill the air. Jin-hee clutches Yeonguk's hand and runs. Sang-hwa shields his pregnant wife as the zombies crash through windows. Back at the train, survivors sprint for safety. But the doors seal too soon. Yeonguk, Sang-hwa, and Suk-woo find themselves separated from Suin and the others, who are in the front cars. Between them are several zombie-infested cabins. There's no way through unless they fight for it. Sang-hwa wraps his forearms in duct tape. Yeonguk grabs a baseball bat. Suk-woo steals himself. They enter the next car. The infected snarl in the darkness. What follows is brutal. Sang-hwa uses brute strength to crush skulls. Yeonguk swings with furious precision. Suk-woo, at first hesitant, fights with raw desperation. They push forward car by car, facing blood, claws, and screams. They learn the infected can't see in darkness. They rely on sound. In one terrifying moment, they crawl silently above a cluster of zombies during a tunnel stretch, every breath threatening to give them away. Meanwhile, Yeon convinces the passengers in the front car to lock the door. He feigns paranoia, says the others may be infected. His selfish fear turns to poison and the group agrees. The trio finally reaches the car where Suin and Song-kyung are trapped. They're safe for now. But when they approach the front, Yeon refuses to let them in. The others scream to keep the door shut. The survivors beg but the door stays closed. Sanghwa holds off the zombies behind them, sacrificing himself so the others can escape. He fights until the last second, screaming Song Kyung's name as he's dragged down. The door finally opens. The group pours in, bloodied, broken, furious. Suin stares at the cold faces around her. The people who left them to die. One of the elderly sisters sees her infected sibling trapped in the other car. She sheds a tear, then opens the door. The infected swarm the room. Carnage erupts. Screams vanish under blood. Only a few survive. Sukwoo, Suin, Song Kyung, Yeonguk and a few others. The train is damaged. They must transfer at East Taegu Station. But even here nothing is safe. The conductor detaches the lead car and begins to move it forward manually. Yeon Suk, ever selfish, pushes another survivor into a zombie's grasp to escape. Yeonguk finds Jin-hee now infected. She reaches for him, and he doesn't run. He holds her as she turns. He dies in silence. Sukwoo, Song Kyung, and Suin race down the train yard, chased by flaming wreckage and the infected. In a horrifying climax, hundreds of zombies grab onto the rear of their escaping train car. They stack upon each other like a living wall, slowing the train. Sukwoo climbs out, kicking at the horde, loosening the ones clinging on. Finally they fall. But Yeon Suk is on board, and he's been bitten. The infection is inside him. As the train races forward, he turns. Only Sukwoo stands between the monster and his daughter. They fight. The zombie lunges, nearly biting Suin. Sukwoo slams him back, his hand torn and bleeding. He pushes the infected off the train. But it's too late. He's been bitten. On the edge of the car, Sukwoo stares at his hand. The bite pulses. He sits with Suin one last time. Tears stream down her face. He remembers her birth. Her tiny fingers. Her first steps. He smiles, and steps off the train into the morning light. Song Kyung and Suin continue alone. The train glides through a destroyed countryside, eventually stopping at a tunnel leading into Busan. Military snipers wait on the other side. They're ordered to fire if the approaching figures are infected. The two girls walk slowly into view. Suin begins to sing, a song she was too scared to perform at school. Her small, clear voice pierces the silence. The soldiers lower their rifles. The survivors are rescued. But the world behind them has changed forever.
If you enjoyed this video and want to catch my next movie, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment. Big things are coming, and you won't want to miss what's next. See you in the next one.